that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. They gave leadership to our foreparents, and that leadership made them slaves. But we have decided to find a leadership of our own.
Not your average nigga, I'm a god out the hood. They can't downplay me, I came up, I'm elevated. I ain't gotta say too much for them to know I'm coming for what's mine. You know they see me in my presence, say they see how I'm coming. Young, but you not just gonna finesse me like you did my peoples. Then back when you said they was emancipated. This ain't that. Your head too big, you feeling yourself. The game wasn't fair, you had the advantage, we wasn't educated. I don't look at you people the same. Nah. Your worst nightmare, my skin tone about them chains. Yeah. Not no circus lion, son, I can't be tamed. You gon' have to kill me, pussy, Toby ain't my name. Y'all still want us think our history started when we were slaves? What? Come on now, talk about them pyramids we made. I was chosen by that man, you know y'all just been running game. The nerve of you acting like I ain't.
Peace, family, and welcome back to the Campaign TV show. I am your host, your big brother King Cam, and what I want everybody to do who's watching from YouTube, I need you to smash that like button. I need you to subscribe to the channel, and I need you to share this link out to as many people as possible so that we can get as many people into the room. If you have seen the title of the show tonight, we're going to be talking about the 4 great impediments to self-development, and I was really, honestly, struggling with a title or a topic for the night because it's so much. And I'm just literally sitting in the house or in my office, and I'm looking around at all of this reading material that I have. And it's really a library for wisdom, if you understand. It's really a library for wisdom. So what I'm doing right now is I'm actually sharing this to my Facebook. And what I want you to do is do the exact same thing, family. Impediments to self-development. So I'm actually sharing this out so we can get more people in here. And I want you to do the exact same thing. I'm about to send out this text real quick to this family on the text line. Hit me on my hotline. I don't even know where that came from. But we're going to send that out. And then we're just going to go ahead and get ready to tap in. So while we doing that, let me see. We're going to drop one of these records. I keep saying I'm going to upload the new records from Brother Ben and Young Khan on here, and I keep forgetting to do it. I'll probably do it the night after the podcast so we can have it. In the meantime, though, we're going to listen to one of them throwback classics, 400 Years.
You don't tell the white man that you're willing to go back and cut no underbrush. We already did that once. If we have to do it again, that's not progress. Hell no. Get out of the cities and the towns that we helped you build. Go and find some other state to move in. You move out, we move in. Now wait a minute. You say, oh, come on, Farrakhan, that's a pipe dream. Well, damn, you better put it in your pipe then.
400 years we've been lacking reacting. Ain't no more lacking reacting. We standing up now, we up at it, we at you. Now I go get it and stack it. Waking up now, we don't need no more trapping. Cause we know these niggas acting. They talk about guns, we know that they capping. We know they got it all rapping. 400 years we've been lacking reacting. Ain't no more lacking reacting. We standing up now, we up at it, we at you. Now I go get it and stack it. Waking up now, we don't need no more trapping. Cause we know these niggas acting. They talk about guns, we know that they capping. We know they got it all rapping. The youth don't need a stunt double. Introduce them to the real thing. Gotta tell them about the hidden hand. Real talk, that's the real pain. Introduce you to the white man. Think you made it, that's the real pain. Then I let you see a white snake and you can't see they the same thing. Get your bread, yeah, build your business. Hidden hand in the same lane. Keep a slaves in a small cell. Tell a young nigga bang bang. Shoot first, ask questions later. 2 brothers in the same game. Fuck that like fuck crack. Big dog like a Great Dane. 400 years we've been lacking reacting. Ain't no more lacking reacting. We standing up now, we up at it, we at you. Now I go get it and stack it. Waking up now, we don't need no more trapping. Cause we know these niggas acting. They talk about guns, we know that they capping. We know they got it all rapping. 400 years we've been lacking reacting. Ain't no more lacking reacting. We standing up now, we up at it, we at you. Now I go get it and stack it. Waking up now, we don't need no more trapping. Cause we know these niggas acting. They talk about guns, we know that they capping. We know they got it all rapping. 400 years in a living hell. break chains, gotta break free. Do for self like Elijah said. Fire him before he fire me. Eat good, he the man of God. Ain't falling for the vaccine. Up late, playing, plotting freedom. Still building, no caffeine. Better tune in to Farrakhan, cause this here is a marathon. Build now, getting real now. Witness the fall of Babylon. Black man, you the first man. Getting tricked by mankind. If we unite and rise up, we'll win every damn time. 400 years we've been lacking reactive. Animal lacking we active. We standing up now, we up at it, we at you. Now I go get it and stack it. Waking up now, we don't need no more trapping. Cause we know these niggas acting. They talk about guns, we know that they capping. We know they got it all rapping. 400 years we've been lacking reactive. Animal lacking we active. We standing up now, we up at it, we at you. Now I go get it and stack it. Waking up now, we don't need no more trapping. Cause we know these niggas acting. They talk about guns, we know that they capping. We know they got it all rapping.
Pay me for my pain.
Yeah, pay me for my tears.
Pay me reparations for all 400 years.
Yeah.
My people struggled and all my people feel. And now we come and taking everything while we give it some.
Yeah, family, that is brotherbenx. 400 years. Make sure that you tap in with that. You can go and type in the brother name on Apple Music, and you can see what music he has available there. And I believe he still has the music at brotherbenxmusic.com. But tonight, like I said, we're going to be touching on the 4 great impediments to self-development. And I'm going to be coming out of the study guide. Self-Improvement, the Basis for Community Development, Study Guides 10 through 18, Volume 2. If you don't have this and you're interested in being able to follow along in our Friday night study groups, and when we do podcasts and different platforms refer to these study guides, you can go to NOI.org and go to the bookstore and purchase your own, okay, from the Final Call building. You can go to NOI.org to the bookstore, and then you can purchase your own so that you can be able to follow along. All right, family? So in the beginning of this is study guide number 12, the reading material. Now, I got a bunch of reading material in front of me right now because I just been trying to tap in as much as possible. But for this particular study guide, you're going to want to make sure that you got your Holy Quran, right? You want to make sure that you got your Quran. You want to make sure that you have your self-improvement study guide, volume 1. And then also you want to make sure you have your message to the black man. Let me get my message to the black man, which is right here. Oh my goodness. Whip the whole camera around. And my message to the black man. All right. So you want to have your Holy Quran and you want to have your message to the black man. And then you want to have your study guide, volume number 1, which is over there on the bookshelf. All right. So we have that. So we're going to start out with understanding, and the reading material is important because it helps you understand who you are, right? Who you are. Now, I do want to read this Surah 3, 1 through 8, because I think this is important, and it's coming out of the family of Amran. All right, so Surah number 3, 1 through 8. All right, so it says this, and this is rule of interpretation. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. I, Allah, am the best knower. Allah, there is no God but He. The ever-living, the self-subsisting, to whom all subsists. He has revealed to thee the book with truth, verifying that which is before it. And he revealed the Torah and the gospel, aforetime a guidance for the people, and he sent the discrimination. Those who believe in the messages of Allah, for them is a severe chastisement. For those who disbelieve in the messages of Allah, for them is a severe chastisement. And Allah is mighty, the Lord of retribution. Surely nothing in the earth or in the heaven is hidden from Allah. He it is who shapes you in the wombs as He pleases. There is no God but He, the mighty, the wise. He it is who has revealed to revealed the book to thee. Some of its verses are decisive. They are the basis of the book, and others are allegorical. Then those whose hearts is perversity follow the part of it which is allegorical, seeking to mislead and seeking to give it their own interpretation. And none knows this interpretation save Allah and those firmly rooted in knowledge. They say, we believe in it. It is all from our Lord, and none mind except men of understanding. Our Lord, make not our hearts to deviate after thou hast guided us, and grant us mercy from thee. Surely thou art the most liberal giver. So the Holy Quran is actually breaking down the Quran and how some of its verses are decisive while other verses are allegorical. But he makes a distinction among those whose hearts is perversity. Follow the part of it which is allegorical, seeking to mislead and to give it their own interpretation. So that's very, very, very important. What did I just hit? I just hit something and took me out. Okay. I'm hitting all type of stuff tonight, family. I'm hitting buttons on the roadcaster. I'm knocking the camera this way. Now I done hit the button and took the screen a whole nother way. So just bear with your brother. All right. So now that we got that out the way, understanding that the Holy Quran has verses that are allegorical and decisive, but those whose hearts have perversity follow that which is allegorical and seek to mislead. They seek to mislead and seeking to give it their own interpretation. So as we get into the study guides, the minister talks about this. He says that law oftentimes is a cover for hypocrisy. It can make us appear right, though we may be internally evil. Such was the religious class who opposed Jesus. They were outwardly right, but inwardly hypocrites. Jesus said to them, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye are like witted, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but sepulchres or tombs, which indeed appear beautiful outward, but are within full of dead men's bones and all uncleanliness. Even so, ye also outwardly appear righteous unto men, but within ye are full of hypocrisy and iniquity. This is Matthew 23, 27 and 28. Jesus was interested in purifying man from the inside, and the law of itself cannot do that. Someone has to grow man out of this childlike stage. I use the term childlike because children act for their parents' sake, but the real child is seen when the parents are not around. What is the force that grows, evolves, feeds, and nurtures and nourishes? The New Testament is called the Testament of Love. Love fulfills the law. Man gets a period of grace, and in that grace there is love. If that is rejected, then comes destruction. 4 great impediments to self-improvement are racism, sexism, nationalism, and materialism. So now we are instructed to read Message to the Black Man, who is the original man. And those who are tuned in tonight and those who will be watching the replay, family, what I want you to do, if you're watching the replay, I want you to share it with as many people as possible as you are able to feed from what is taught here tonight. But also, if you're watching live right now, I need you to smash the like button. I need you to hit that subscribe button, and I need you to also make sure that you hit the bell, stay notified each and every time we drop a video, and I need you to take the link and share this out with as many people as well. All right? So, what we want to do now is get on over to who is the original man. because that's important to these questions that are going to be asked as far as our impediments, family. The 4 great impediments is racism, sexism, nationalism, and materialism. But let's look at who you are, who we are, because we wasn't taught that growing up. We wasn't taught that in school. We wasn't taught that in the educational system, who we are. So it's important that you know yourself, because in order to know God, you must know yourself. So the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, in Message to the Black Man, said, who is the original man? The above question is now answered from the mouth of Allah to us, the so-called Negroes, for the first time since our straying away from our nation. This secret of who is God and who is the devil has been a mystery to the average one of mankind, to be revealed in all of its clearness to one who was so ignorant that he know not even himself, born blind, deaf, and dumb in the wilderness of North America. All praise is due to the great Mahdi who was to come and has come, the sole master of the worlds. I ask myself at times, what can I do to repay Allah, the great Mahdi Farrakhan Muhammad, for his coming wisdom, knowledge, and understanding? Most of us, having been born in the southern part of this wilderness of sin, where the member of the white race, man of sin, has always manifested himself to us, the so-called Negroes, should have known that he was really the evil one by the way he treated us. Yet we were made so dumb that we still could not recognize him. Now just imagine the level of dumbness that we had to have when you could be mistreated by a person and still not understand who that person is. This happens a lot of times in relationships. People will show you who they are in a relationship. There'll be a bunch of red flags throughout the journey as you get to know this person, and you ignore all of the red flags the whole time the person was showing you who they were. This is a next level dumb, family. And the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that we was made so dumb that we could not recognize him. So in the South at that time, the white man, the Caucasian, the enemy, had always manifested him true self to us. He always did that. But we was made so dumb we cannot recognize him. The truth of him is now being told and taught throughout the world to his anger and sorrow. He is losing no time trying to hinder the truth of the above question, who is the original man. He is setting watchers and listeners around me and my followers to see if he can find some other charge to put against us to satisfy his anger of the truth that we preach from the mouth of Allah, who is with us in person. Don't forget that, with us in person. That's very important, because we don't believe in no spook. We don't believe in no mystery God. We don't believe in no spirit. We don't believe in no pie in the sky in the sweet by and by. We talking about a living, breathing human being that Allah appeared in as Master Farrakhan Muhammad. The original man, Allah has declared, is none other than the black man. This is you and I. This is you and I, family. The black man is the first and last maker and owner of the universe. From him came all brown, yellow, red, and white people. By using a special method of birth control law, the black man was able to produce the white race. The true knowledge of the black and white mankind should be enough to waken the so-called Negroes and put them on their feet and on the road to self-independence. Yet, they are so afraid of the slave masters that they even love them to their destruction and wish that the bearer of truth would not tell the truth even if he knows it. This is something that we see still in 2022. That even if somebody has the truth of a situation, we are so afraid of the slave masters that the person who dares to stand up and teach that truth or tell that truth is always approached by the Negroes and the house niggas to not tell the truth, because you don't want to disturb the status quo. You don't want to disturb what we got going on up in here, nigga. You got to not tell that truth. We know what's been going on. We not dumb. But don't go up here standing on the mountaintop yelling at the top of your lungs the truth and exposing the slave master, because you're going to mess it up for us good Negroes. And this is what you have going on in politics today. This is what you have going on when the open enemy is the one who picks and chooses your leaders. The leaders are already homegrown house Negroes, and they're going to do the bidding of their master. And this is what's stopping us from making huge strides in liberation, because we got too many Negroes who's selling out to the slave master out of fear of being hungry, of being poor, of being ragged, and being out of doors, because you really don't believe in the God you say that you serve. You really don't believe in the God that you say that you serve, because if you did, you would know that that God has power to make sure that you're not poor, to make sure that you're not hungry, to give you food, to make sure that you got a roof over your head so you're not raggedy and out of doors. But because of your lack of your belief in the God you say that you serve, you bend your knee to the enemy, because he's the God that you serve. He's providing your food. He's providing your shelter. He's making sure that you're not hungry, poor, ragged, and out of doors, and you do his work for him, even if it's to the detriment of your own people. Talk to me. Talk to me. This is why knowledge of self is so important, family. This is why knowledge of self is so important. This is how this becomes an impediment to our self-improvement. See? This is how this becomes an impediment to our self-improvement. Racism, materialism. These are two things that are impediments to our self-improvement. And they become impediments because of our fear of our open enemy. Huh? Look at this. The time has arrived when it must be told the world over there are millions who do not know who is the original man. Why should this question be put before the world today? Because it is the time of judgment between the white and the black, and the knowledge of the rightful owners of the earth. Allah is now pointing out to the nations of the earth their rightful places. And this judgment will bring an end to the war over it. Now it is so easy to recognize the original man, the real owner of the earth, by the history of the two, black and white. We have an unending past history of the black nation and a limited one of the white race. We find that history teaches that the earth was populated by the black nation ever since it was created, but the history of the white race does not take us beyond 6,000 years. Everywhere the white race has gone on our planet, they have either found the original man or a sign that he had been there previously. Allah is proving to the world of black men that the white race actually does not own any part of the planet Earth. I want to stop right there because that's very important. What they teach us in school is about all of these famous European explorers and settlers who traveled the ocean blue and found these different uninhabited parts of the planet, and they inhabited them and staked their claim to them so that they could bring civilization to this uninhabited part of the planet Earth. Lie. This is why it's important to read the details, because a lot of these European explorers had diaries in which they wrote about their explorations. And in a lot of those diaries where they wrote about their explorations, they exposed the fact that when they came to these different parts of the earth, after the European had been let out of the caves and hillsides in Europe, they started to venture out into other parts of the planet. And as they ventured out to other parts of the planet, they came to different places that actually were inhabited, that actually had people, that actually already had civilization there. This is written in their diaries, family. This information is not secret. It's not top secret. They've written this in their diaries, talking about their exploration and the people they would find when they went to these different parts of the planet Earth. So that bears witness to the fact that these people did not have a part of the planet Earth in which they inhabited. But every part of the planet Earth that they went to, there was original people already there, as the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, or a sign that we had been there. This is actual facts. And this is how we get so warped in our understanding and our over attempts to pacify the slave master, because we believe he really got some history. We believe he really did some great things. We believe that his history is so immaculate, so impeccable, so extraordinary that he deserves all of the attention that we give him. And we allow him to live rent-free in our minds. When in reality, black man and black woman, you are the one with the history. You are the one with the civilization. You are the one with the extraordinary feats that nobody knows about unless you dig through the history and go and find it. Why? Because the slave master wants to what? Keep you deaf, dumb, and blind. He wants to keep you ignorant. This is why he doesn't want you to read. He wants you to be illiterate, because if you're illiterate, he can use you as a tool and a slave. This is real talk. This is real talk. I'm just talking to the family tonight. You understand? Just talking to the family tonight, because this is important as we move forward with our own self-improvement and self-development and the so-called quote-unquote leadership and black voices out right now who's speaking on liberation. We need to know this, family. We need to know this. If you don't know who you are, how you going to liberate the people from the enemy? We got all type of crazy stuff going on within our community, and the so-called voices, a lot of them are feeding the fire. So how are we going to lead the people who are actually steeped in ignorance if we don't know who we are or where we should be leading them to, and how to free them from the enemy? If we still acting like Negroes, niggas, coons, and color boys, how are we going to free them from the enemy still acting like that? Let me know. So look, check this out, right? The Bible and the Holy Quran bears witness to the above if you are able to understand it. The Holy Quran, the beauty of the scriptures, repeatedly challenges the white race to point out the part of the heavens and the earth that they created. That's a fact. The Quran definitely says, if you created this, then prove it. See? If this is you, if you as bad as you say you are, then prove it. The Quran definitely challenges that. Let me see what's going on over here. All praise is due to Allah. Shout out to First Word Media. Appreciate you, brother. Wa alaikum salam, Jill. Thank you for tuning in. So look, and I don't really care about the numbers tonight. We ain't doing no numbers-driven podcast tonight. I'm just talking to my people, because I know it's going to be people who see this who may not be here right now who are going to be impacted. I know that it's going to be people who see this tonight who going to take it to somebody else. So maybe 1, 2, 3, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 80. Don't matter. We just sitting here with the people tonight. And we're going to go ahead and talk about these impediments, because it's important. So look, it says this. It further teaches that they are not even their own creators. We created white man from a small life germ. The soft pronoun we use nearly throughout the Holy Quran makes the knowledge of the original man much clearer and more intelligent of how the white race's creation took place. In the Bible, referring to their creation, we have us in Genesis creating, or rather making, the race. The us and we use show beyond a shadow of a doubt that they came from another people. A knowledge of the white race removes once and for all times the mistakes that we be made in dealing with them. My followers and I can and are getting along with them in a more understandable way than ever because we know them. Check that out now. If you know them, you can deal with them the right way. This is why we keep having situations and issues with white people, because we really don't know them. And because we don't know them, then we handle them improperly. And this is why you keep running into a snare. That's why it's important that you get the proper knowledge of white people, so then you could deal with them in the proper manner and everything can be smooth. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, now, because him and his followers, right, know who they are, then they're able to deal with them in an understandable way. See, it says a knowledge of the white race removes once and for all times the mistakes that would be made in dealing with them. My followers and I are getting along with them in a more understandable way than ever because we know them. You cannot blame one for the way he or she was born, for they had nothing to do with that. Can we say to them, why don't you do righteousness when nature did not give righteousness to them? Or say to them, why are you such a wicked devil? Who is responsible, the maid or his maker? Yet we are not excused for following and practicing his evil or accepting him for a righteous God just because he is not his maker. So just because he's not his maker doesn't excuse you to follow him. But this is why having the knowledge is so important, because having the knowledge will allow you to deal with him in a way that everything can be smooth, because you know where he comes from. Does that make sense? Hope that's making sense. Allahu Akbar. So I gotta go grab my charger real quick because it's not in here. Let me grab the charger real quick for the computer. I'll be right back. I'm gonna drop this track. Let y'all listen to this real quick while I go grab that charger piece. Hold on.
You don't tell the white man that you're willing to go back and cut no underbrush. We already did that once. If we have to do it again, that's not progress. Hell no. Get out of the cities and the towns that we helped you build. Go and find some other state to move in. You move out, we move in. Now wait a minute. You say, oh, come on, Farrakhan, that's a pipe dream. Well, damn, you better put it in your pipe then.
400 years we've been lacking reacting. Ain't no more lacking reacting. We standing up now, we up at it, we at you. Now I go get it and stack it. Waking up now, we don't need no more trapping. Cause we know these niggas acting. They talk about guns, we know that they capping. We know they got it all rapping. 400 years we've been lacking reacting. Ain't no more lacking reacting. We standing up now, we up at it, we at you. Now I go get it and stack it. Waking up now, we don't need no more trapping. Cause we know these niggas acting. They talk about guns, we know that they capping. We know they got it all rapping. The youth don't need a stunt double. Introduce them to the real thing. Gotta tell them about the hidden hand. Real talk, that's the real bang.
Yeah. All right, family. I'm back. Had to go grab that charger real quick. Or that would have been the end of the podcast. Everything would have shut off. I had to grab that charger. All right. So now that we have an understanding of who the original man is, and just for the record, we need to know who the colored man is, which is the Caucasian white man, Yaku's grafted devil. All right? Skunk of the planet Earth. Very important that you understand this. All right, so now let's get a little bit further into our discussion, family. I hope y'all all right. Y'all all right? I pray everybody's doing masterful. Okay? So, all right, so we're just going to start right here from the beginning, where the minister's going to break this down. All right? Very important. All right, so though there are those who have accused the Honorable Elijah Muhammad of racism and point to the student enrollment as evidence of that charge. In doing so, they are projecting their own interpretation onto the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The words are the words of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but their meaning is affected by the understanding of the person reading, repeating, or acting upon them. As spiritual children, it was inevitable that we would go through a phase of development where we might make mischief with the facts we were given. And when thy Lord said to the angels, I'm going to place a ruler in the earth, they said, wilt thou place in it such as make mischief in it and shed blood? That's Holy Quran, Surah 2, verse 30. The balance we were given by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was in his declaration to us, you are the righteous and you must treat every man with respect and do justice by all men. Attitudes, when they harden, become beliefs. From beliefs, we get laws. A prevailing attitude among whites says that black people are inferior, doomed to be servants of theirs. From that attitude, there is a belief system. I believe that God created them to serve us. I believe that I am superior. Based upon these beliefs, a constitution is developed that embodies them. I believe they are subhuman. I am codified my belief into a law that say they are 3/5 of a person, which will forever determine the way in which we deal with them. So if you saw the video that I posted on my social media earlier today on my Instagram, where a little boy playing Little League Baseball had his white teammates putting cotton on his head. This is just a 2022 version of what we already knew. And the problem that we have, and the reason why these things continue to happen, is because we don't have the knowledge of ourselves. We're deaf, dumb, and blind in 2022, and we pass that same deaf, dumb, and blind ignorance to our children to allow them to end up in situations like this. What do I mean? That's why the importance of knowing thyself, knowing who you are, and knowing your history comes into play. Because if you don't, then what happens is you become a victim and will constantly stay in a victim position with a victim mindset because we lack the proper information. So what is the minister saying to us here? He's talking about the attitude and how your attitude becomes your belief, and then the belief becomes the law. So because white people have a belief, then that belief becomes the law, and that law is what we call the Constitution for America, right? So the open enemy has created a law, the Constitution, based on their beliefs, based on their attitude. So because their belief system is that they believe God created us to serve them. Number one, they believe that they are superior. This is covered in the Quran, because in the Quran, it talks about how Iblis refused to submit himself to Allah after Allah created Adam and told the angels to bow. And when God asked Iblis why he wouldn't bow, he said he was better than Adam. What does that have to do with what you just said about the Caucasian? The attitude of Iblis, or Iblis, is the attitude of I am better. See? So in that attitude of I am better, you find yourself in opposition and disobedience to who? The God. Because it wasn't nobody else who asked Iblis to bow. Now check that out. See? Iblis was so heavy in his superior attitude, he forgot who gave him the command to bow. He completely forgot that God had gave him the command to bow, that he was so into his superior attitude that he refused and he disobeyed the Almighty because of that attitude. And this is what you have when you look at the Caucasian. He is so into his superior attitude that he forgets that God created him. And because he forgot that the Almighty created him, he will disobey and become a op to the God. I'm gonna give it to you in how they talk in the street. See, the Caucasian has become an op to God. He's the opposition. He's in disobedience. He's opposing God because he thinks that he's better than us. Check that out now. Impediments to self-improvement and self-development. This is what's going on in America today. This is why America can't get their stuff together. This is why the police department can't stop them from killing unarmed black people. Why? Because those police officers think that they better than black people. They think that we are 3/5 of a human being. They think they are superior to us. So this is why no amount of sensitivity training or community relations that you give these people is going to stop them from doing what they doing, because it's their belief system. And it's the attitude that gives power and credence to their actions. Yeah. Real talk. This is why we can't get no anti-hate bill passed in Congress. This is why you can't get no reparations coming through the government, even though we deserve it. Why? Because they think they what? Better than you. They don't think you deserve no reparations. They think that you was created to serve them. So why would they then turn around and give you reparations? They created a whole constitution based on the fact that you are 3/5 of a human being, that you are subhuman. So then why would I turn around if my attitude is that I'm better, and if my belief that I am superior to you, then why would I then write into law something that is in favor of you? Talk to me. Let me know. Let me see something. Okay, we still on. Boy, I was missing the button. So, for those who are just coming in, I'm your host, Brother King Cam. This is the Campaign TV show. Tonight, we are discussing 4 great impediments in self-development. If you're following us on YouTube, we appreciate that follow. Make sure you smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. Stay notified each and every time we drop a video. And you can copy that link, send it out to your mother, your father, your brothers, your sisters, your friends, your family, anybody else who want to be tapped in tonight. Make sure you send that over to them, all right? So, we're talking about the 4 great impediments in self-development. And we are going over, we highlighted racism and materialism. But the other 2 is sexism and nationalism. And we're going to further get into that as we matriculate our way through, or work our way through, the analysis that the Honorable Minister Farrakhan gives us in this study guide. All right? So now, understanding the attitude that I am better will cause you to be in opposition to God himself, we got to check that attitude. So I'm going to continue to read. Religion sanctifies what we do. Oh, I'm not going to get an amen on that. Religion sanctifies what we do. We read the scriptures to facilitate and feed our coloring. Once religion is used to justify beliefs and laws, an additional educational system is developed to facilitate the belief system. Thus, when a prophet or messenger comes to give the people Allah's coloring or view, he is charged with hearsay, because he is not just attacking the laws, but the belief system the unjust laws grew out of. Martin Luther King attacked the laws of the government of America. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad attacked the belief system the laws grew out of. In doing so, he was breaking up what was the root of this world. Nay, we hurl truth against falsehood, so it knocks out its brains, and lo, it vanishes. Holy Quran 21:18. 21:18. And let me give you the other translation on that, right? Because I believe that was Yusuf Ali. Let me just double check. 21:18. Here we go. 21:18. Oh, shoot. Get back. There we go. Okay, here we go. Yep. Nay. This is Maulana Muhammad. It says, nay, we hurl the truth against falsehood, so it knocks out its brains, and lo, it vanishes. And woe to you for what you describe. So, woe to those who want to keep trying to perpetrate that falsehood, because we hurling truth at it today until we knock out his brains. All right. So by changing laws, we do not affect conditions, because changing a law does not change the attitudes or systems of belief. Pharaoh feared that Moses would change the religion, which means he feared the drastic altering of the belief system which his world was built upon. Uh-oh. See? We getting into it now. The world is based upon a belief in the superiority of white over black. There can be no new world until the destruction of inferiority in one and superiority in the other. At the same time, the attitude of white superiority hardened into beliefs that grew into laws. The Caucasian people produced an attitude in black people toward ourselves. What was that attitude? We are niggas. I believe niggas will never be nothing. Out of this attitude grew a system of belief, and from that, set of actions. It is an unwritten law that black people disrespect and destroy one another. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad stands between the two attitudes, a written law of white superiority and an unwritten law of black inferiority. He must expose the condition for what it is and then break up the mental attitudes that brought it about. In the definition of inferiority complex, we see aggressive behavior is a form of compensation for feelings of inadequacy. Stop right there. Let's talk about our condition real quick. Let's talk about the hood real quick. Let's talk about the ghetto real quick, because what happens, family, is because white superiority has created the black inferiority complex within us. What you see is general characteristics of the inferiority complex that the minister just talked about, and violence or aggression is one of those things. So what is the number one thing you see in the hood, in the ghetto, in the projects? What is that? Aggression and violence. Why? Because it's a compensation for feelings of inadequacy. So because we feel that we are inadequate financially, we feel we are inadequate as socially, we feel we are inadequate emotionally, we feel like we're inadequate in so many different areas, that we now become aggressive to compensate for that inadequacy. And it shows why we have poor spending habits, because we do come into money, or obtain large sums of money. What is it that we want to do? We want to compensate for the inadequacy of not having money, so we buy big cars, we buy big clothes, we buy not big physically clothes, but we get expensive clothes, we get nice cars, we go get jewelry, and there's nothing wrong with getting any of them things. Nothing wrong with it. But you have to have the wisdom to go with the money, because it says that a fool and his money shall soon part. So if you a fool with it, as the song say, then you're going to part from the money, and then you're going to go back into the condition that you just came out of financially. Right? So it's very important that we have the knowledge and the wisdom, so that we able to be handle the blessings that are given to us. Right? So the minister goes on to say, in the definition of inferiority complex, we see aggressive behavior is a form of compensation for feelings of inadequacy. The self needs feeding. When the physical stomach is unfed, it produces discomfort in the person. Likewise, when self-esteem is not fed, it also causes discomfort. Hunger, whether physical or emotional, causes the hungry person to engage in extreme forms of behavior, sometimes unlawful, in order to satisfy the need. Now, I don't know how many of you have ever been hungry. And I'm talking about to the point where you'll do anything to get something to eat. That is the law of self-preservation kicking in once the hunger reaches a certain level. I need you to talk back to me right now. When the hunger reaches a certain level, the law of self-preservation kicks in, and you're going to do whatever it is that you have to do in order to stop the feeling of hunger. even if it's unlawful, in order to satisfy the need. The self comes from Allah, God. How does he feel? In his view, polytheism is the gravest sin, which is the worship of more than one God. That's idol worship. Polytheist, right? What about the self of God being fed by nothing? How do we respond? We develop an overly aggressive, belligerent, hostile attitude, mostly toward members of our own group. Because we lack self-esteem and self-worth, we have developed an unwritten law that says if you get rid of a member of your own group, you have done nothing wrong. You have done something good in getting rid of this object of disapproval. On the other hand, the superiority complex of the Caucasians is a mindset in which the person becomes God. Thus, they want worship, adulation, and service. Not only are they the center of their own existence, they want to be the center of everyone's existence. So in what the Honorable Minister Farrakhan just explained to us is the two mindsets that exist in the black community and the white community. And from those attitudes and beliefs are a set of actions that exist in the black community and the white community. And you can see that in the black community, where is overly excessive violence and aggression, there is also the mindset of no self-worth, right? Not understanding who you are and what you're here to do. See, lack of self-esteem and lack of self-worth exists in the black community. Talk to me. See? Let me know if I'm off track. I don't believe I am, but let me know if I'm off track. See, it's a lack of self-worth that have women wanting to be naked online. It's a lack of self-worth and self-esteem because it feels like the only way that they can capture a man's attention is by being naked. The only way that they can become liberated is by being naked. The only way that they're able to get the respect that they deserve and the adulation that they deserve is through their physical bodies being on display, used as a power to subdue men. This is what you see going on. A lack of self-worth, a lack of self-esteem. When you look at the brothers, this is why it's so easily for them to kill one another. This is why it's so easy for us to join these gangs and have ops. And then we are so quick to slide on each other for territorial grievances, for misunderstandings, and for, arguments and things that we have about women. It's so easy for us to slide. Disagreements over drugs that the enemy done dropped into the community. Disagreements over money and all of that different type of stuff. We so quick to kill one another behind that. Why? Because we lack self-esteem and we lack self-worth. So it's easy for us to kill one another because the first thing in our mind is that nigga want nothing anyway. He robbed me. He was with my girl. I had an argument with him over some money. So he ain't really about nothing anyway. And what we say, that nigga ain't shit. That's what we say in our minds. That's what we say out loud. So it's shown in our behavior that we have low self-esteem, zero self-worth, and this is why it's so easy for us to destroy our own people in our own community. But see, when George Zimmerman come through and do something to Trayvon Martin, we don't slide so quick. When Mike Brown is chopped down in the street, when Freddie Gray is handled the way he's handled, when Sandra Bland is handled the way that she's handled, we ain't that quick to slide. Why? Because we see the open enemy as a God besides God. Come on now. Come on. We see the open enemy as a God besides Allah. So didn't I mention earlier that when you have a particular type of attitude that I am better, you cause yourself to be in opposition to God? Well, you also can cause yourself to be in opposition to God when you have a fear, when you have another type of attitude that leads to your opposition. When you have another type of attitude of no self-esteem, no self-worth, and you become a worshiper of that which you fear, you become an op against God. That's just real. That's just real. Because it says that the gravest sin to God is polytheism. That's idol worship. a worship of more than one God. So if you are afraid of something other than God himself, and you become a worshiper of that which is not God himself, you are a polytheist. And you now are in opposition to God himself and his messenger. All praises due to Allah. All praises due to Allah. Man, it's been 55 minutes already. I'm just getting started. I feel like I've just been flowing for like 5 minutes. Okay, so we're going to push a little bit. And for those who are just tuning in, family, I am your host, Brother King Cam, and we're talking about the 4 great impediments to self-improvement, self-development. Just want to highlight some things. This is like a fireside chat because I felt like this was important. We're coming out of the study guide. You can order this study guide from NOI.org. You can go to the bookstore and you can purchase the study guide so that you'll be able to follow along Friday nights in our study groups. You can either go to your local mosque study group, tap in over there, or you can follow virtually at NOI.org. You can catch the study group online. Either way, you need to have these books. So you can get this from online, order it directly to your doorstep. But I wanted to have this fireside chat tonight because I felt like it's something that's not talked about enough, and we need to be putting ourselves in the mindset of self-improvement and self-development on a daily basis. We spend too much money on things that's not helping us become better, not helping us get over the trauma, not helping us get over our toxic ways. See, we got too many toxic ways, and the way society is set up, it glorifies your toxicity. So you rather sit up here in your toxic filth and allow it to eat away and erode at the inside of yourself spiritually and mentally and emotionally, instead of actually getting in the process of cleaning all of that stuff up. So this is what this self-development is about. It's about cleaning all of those toxic behaviors out of your system. There's nothing wrong with having toxic behaviors. I just want to talk to the people who got them and who got them on a large scale, because we all got them. Some of us who in the process, though, we've been able to bring it down a little bit. Don't mean they're not there still. For all you righteous people who think it's all gone. It's not that it's gone completely. It's just toned down a little bit. But we still got our brothers and sisters who on 10. So for our brothers and sisters that's still on 10, we inviting you to come and get some of this self-development and self-improvement so that we can begin to reduce the amount of toxic traits that you putting out here in the world. Because hurt people hurt people. That's what they say. This is what they say. So hurt people hurt people. So if you toxic and then you get in a relationship with somebody else that's toxic, then what you got is something that's extremely harmful to the human being. And potentially deadly. So when you see that girl in Blueface and they constantly on the shade room for domestic abuse and assault against one another, more so her against him, because every time you look up, she's swinging on him, punching him in the head, all of this stuff in public, and they're catching all of this stuff on camera. That's toxic behavior. There's something wrong there mentally. And instead of somebody trying to reach out to them. Now, I don't know personally if somebody reached out to them or not, but I'm just saying we should not be glorifying. My point is we shouldn't be glorifying this behavior by constantly putting it out on the blogs. And I understand blogs got to do what blogs got to do, but this is not something that we should be putting out to the people, really glorifying it. If we're going to put it out, we should be condemning it and saying that these people need help. This is not what a relationship looks like. It's not healthy for the people who are involved or the people that watch it. Because when we watching Blueface and that girl get into it online all the time, that is traumatizing to us. That's trauma. I'm traumatized every time I see that on Shade Room. Please, Shade Room, don't keep putting that up there. We just seen enough. We seen enough. That is not a healthy situation, and they need help. And somebody need to help them before it boils over to something more serious. See, it start out violent physically, where she just tapping him in his jaw and pop, you know what I'm saying? Like just, you know what I mean? With the hook and beating him up and all of that kind of stuff. And him, you know what I'm saying? Getting physical with her. See, it begins that way, but then it's going to go into another level. And if don't nobody step in, it's going to go to another level of violence. And then see, God forbid something happened to either one of them Or both of them, we're going to be on the shade room talking about some RIP. I feel so sad. I don't know what happened. Why did this happen? How did we get here? People going to be, what you mean, how did we get here? You got all them other videos on shade room showing you how we got here. It's not act crazy. It's not act dumb. You know how you got here. So before you get to the final destination, no pun intended, let's make sure that we doing everything that we can to reduce the toxic behavior. So those people need help. Blueface, man, we praying for you, and the sister, we praying for her. That situation need to be resolved. So in conclusion, on the other hand, the minister is talking about the superiority complex, right? Where the Caucasian is a mindset in which the person becomes God. Thus, they want worship, adulation, and service. Not only are they the center of their own existence, they want to be the center of everyone else's existence. So we already know that to be true. We see how they get down. We know how they do. This is their world. They want everything in their world to bow to them, and that's just how it go. So whether we're talking about police domestic terrorism, whether we're talking about injustice in the criminal justice system, whether we're talking about discrimination in the schools, where you see the overwhelmingly increased harsh behavior towards black male students versus everybody else, all of this stuff is intentional. All of this stuff, is intentional. Why? Because they think they are the God besides God. And when you think like that, you do crazy stuff. So look, their attitude of superiority is so hardened they will do anything to force submission to others, to themselves. As I just mentioned, anything they'll do. So we talked about the school system. We talked about the criminal justice system. We talked about domestic terrorism. We see how Karen and Susie, how they act out in public. Why? That is a mindset of superiority. You can't be here. You can't walk in my community. You can't turn your music up. You can't do any of those different things. Remember, Jordan Davis in Florida was killed because his music was too loud. Not because he violated somebody. Not because he assaulted someone. Not because he was in somebody's personal space. Not because he robbed a bank. Not because he did something to a child. Jordan Davis was murdered by the open enemy, a Caucasian white man, because his music was too loud. That's the mindset of superiority. We gotta come away from all of that. This is sick. It's sickness. America is a place full of sick individuals who think that they're not sick and that they can tell other nations what to do. When America is a walking mental illness. It's a walking case of mental illness. The people that are in America is sick people. You killing people because their music too loud. You killing people because they selling Lucy cigarettes. You killing people because they had a fake $20 bill. You killing people because the sister challenged your authority as a police officer in Texas. Huh? Talk to me. You challenging their authority, and because you challenge their authority and because they got a superiority complex, they want you to bow. And they will do anything to force submission of others to themselves. We've seen it in real time. The Honorable Minister Farrakhan is on time because everything he's saying we're seeing in real time. Huh? The attitudes and belief which produces these complexes result in damage to the faculty of perception. Now, the mind is colored by attitude and projects that coloring onto reality, making us spiritually blind, deaf, and dumb. We cannot interpret anything outside of our ability to see it. We create a set of facts that reflects our own perception and is limited by our own perception. So the Holy Quran says, surely the vilest of beasts In Allah's sight are the deaf, dumb, who understand not. And the Holy Quran says in Surah 7, 179, they have hearts wherewith they understand not, and they have eyes wherewith they see not, and they have ears wherewith they hear not, are as cattle, nay, they are more astray. See, so in the Holy Quran, it talks about that Allah, the vilest of beasts to Allah, in the sight of Allah, is the one that's deaf, dumb, and blind, or deaf, dumb, and doesn't understand. This is why it's important that we teach, because there's a lot of our people who just don't understand. It's not out of malice or, intention to be evil. They just don't understand. So this is why Allah always sends a mercy to the people before he destroys the people. See, before the God gets ready to destroy a people and a nation, he has to send you somebody who's going to help you to understand the error of your ways. Isn't that God such a beautiful God? And these are some of the things that we should replicate as parents. We should replicate these things as parents, because God is our Father. He's like a parent. So him acting as a parent to us, before he chastises us, he gives us an out. He gives us the proper understanding of where we went wrong and how to correct it, and gives us an opportunity to follow through before there's chastisement. And as parents, we should do the same thing. Because oftentimes we assume that our children should know certain things, but we haven't taught them certain things. So for you to chastise them for things that you haven't taught them is really unfair, because we assuming they should know. That's not good. So that's just a sidebar. Right? So all of these different things, superiority complex, inferiority complex, are things that we suffer from. Even in business, as entrepreneurs, we suffer from that inferiority complex. We don't believe that we're good enough in business to compete. We don't believe that we're good enough in business to be able to have a successful one. That's half the battle. That's why you can't get off the porch. That's why you don't up your prices based on the service that you provide or the product that you provide, because you don't believe that your product is that good. I need to talk to some of the entrepreneurs now. You don't believe that your product or your service is that good. You suffering from the inferiority complex that been put on you based on the attitude of your open enemy and his superiority complex. You suffering from that in your business life, in your business relationship. You won't even take the promotion at your job because you suffer from an inferiority complex, black man and black woman. So you'll find excuses not to take the promotion. You look at the schedule and find a way to wiggle your way out of the promotion because of the schedule. Or you'll find something that's going on inside of the new promotion that stop you from taking it. Why? Not because you're not qualified for the job, not because you don't want the promotion, but because you suffer from inferiority complex. It won't allow you to take it. You in fear of success. Why? Because you have been taught that you are less than. You've been treated like you are less than. So your mindset is, I am undeserving. And you got to come out of that mindset. This is a new day. We are done with that. All of the prophets of old prophesied of a time when God would come. That God himself was coming. And now there's one among us who said God came. We're no longer in the time when God was to come, and there was prophets who were prophesying about what would happen in the day that God came. No, God has come. There's one now who's teaching and preaching the coming of God and that God is in our midst today. So what does that mean? That means everything from the past is over with. And that's why in the scripture it says, behold, I make all things new. Because what God does when he comes is he takes your mind, black man and black woman, and he makes it new. He gets you out of that inferiority complex and puts you in your proper place. This is why in the message to the black man, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, God is coming to put everybody in their proper place. Everybody gonna be in the right perspective so that they see everything through the proper lens, which is Allah's coloring or Allah's view. When you have Allah's view, you are now succinct. You are now in proper alignment with the Creator so that you can see with true 2020 vision. Talk to me. Talk to me. So God has come and he will correct your blindness, correct your dumbness, correct your deafness if you would allow him to. If you would accept him, he will correct that for you. The problem is in the black community is that we refuse to accept the teaching that was given and prescribed for our sickness. So if you refuse to take the medicine and you sick, you're not going to get better. You're going to get worse. And this is what is happening to us today. We're degenerating and degrading and getting worse and worse and worse because we refuse to take the medicine that was given and prescribed for our specific condition. I'm going to read a little bit more and we closing down an hour and 11 minutes. So we cannot interpret anything outside of our ability to see it. We create a set of facts that reflects our own perception and is limited by our own perception. Our lessons called actual facts are so named because they are real. They are that which actually exists. We can create a contrary fact by damaging the individual's perception of what really is. In order to destroy the present reality, we must get to the root reality. The black man is the original man. See, we got to get to the root. The black man is the original man. Why does Master Farrakhan Muhammad introduce that fact in this time, this manner to this people? Is he desirous of producing a racist mind? Or is he confronting both the black man and the Caucasian with truth? That there be balance or justice in the earth? That's a heavy question. Because when you look at the United States of America, it was founded on falsehood, founded on lies. So because it was founded on lies, and what produced the lie was the attitude and the beliefs of the Caucasian that says, I am better than the dark people. I'm better than the poor people. I'm superior to them. They are supposed to serve me. I'm a God and I am worthy of worship. And I will do anything to achieve this submission of those before me. Huh? That's the mindset. And that means there's no balance. That means there's no balance with that mindset. So the minister's saying, why did Master Farrakhan Muhammad ask us or present to us in the actual facts that the black man is God? Why did he present that to the black man and to the Caucasian? With truth, right? That there be balance and justice in the earth. The only way that there be balance and justice is with truth. Falsehood don't bring balance and justice. As you can see, the last 6,000 years has been built on falsehood. There's been no balance. There's been no truth. There's been no justice. See? So that's something for us to think about. But I'm going to go ahead and put a pin in it right there, family. I'm going to put a pin in it right there because we want to get back to this next week. So I want to thank you for those who actually came in, tapped in, shared the link, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, told your family about what we got going on over here on the Campaign TV show. I certainly appreciate it. We was discussing the 4 great impediments, and we just really getting into it because it's such a heavy subject that connects and is so relevant to our condition in America that it's going to take more than one episode to cover everything. But I appreciate you all for tuning in and for being a part of this discussion tonight, family. I'm your brother, Brother King Cam, and I will catch you next week on the Campaign TV show. Make sure that you tune in. Do we got any announcements? Let me think. Do I got any announcements? Oh, I'm going to be on a podcast show tomorrow. So I'll be putting that information out. As you can see, scrolling across the bottom, you can join the podcast community by texting 404-737-1030, and you have to text the word podcast. Text the word podcast to 404-737-1030. You could join the podcast community. Man, we're going to be teaching class tomorrow as well with my influencer community, where I'm actually walking a couple of people through how to grow their brands on social media. So we're going to be doing that as well. We have class twice a week, and we always tapped in with different information. I'm always sending links and things of that nature, so you make sure you want to be tapped in with that. Make sure you follow your brother on all social media networks at brotherkingcam. That's on Twitter, that's on TikTok, that's on Instagram, that's on Facebook, and that is on YouTube. All right, family? So make sure that you tapped in. I appreciate y'all. Hey, in the Cash App, if you would like to donate, is Cash App Campaign TV show. Show your brother some love. Help the show out so that we continue to produce this excellent content so that we can stay tapped in. And man, that's all I have for tonight, man. Salute those who was tuned in for the night. And man, I look forward to tapping in with y'all next week. Peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum.
Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. They gave leadership to our foreparents, and that leadership made them slaves. But we have decided to find a leadership of our own.
You know. Not your average nigga, I'm a god out the hood. They can't downplay me. I came up, I'm elevated. I ain't gotta say too much for them to know I'm coming for what's mine. You know they see me in my presence, say. They see how I'm coming. Young, but you not just gonna finesse me like you did my peoples. Them back when you said they was emancipated. This ain't that. Your head too big. You feeling yourself. The game wasn't fair. You had the advantage. We wasn't educated. I don't look at you people the same. Nah. Your worst nightmare, my skin tone about them chains. Yeah. Not no circus lion, son, I can't be tamed. You gon' have to kill me, pussy. Toby ain't my name. Y'all still wanna think our history started when we were slaves? What? Come on now, talk about them pyramids we made.